That's one left.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we have C, which is our copy machine bids.
We went out to bid our copy machines, which will be coming due at the end of December here. We bid with 3 different vendors: Tri-State, Business Machines out of La Crosse, Xerox, who is our current vendor, and E.O. Johnson. And for the most part, the bids were very close, and I would preface this, we're already looking at, from previous bids, which is not typical when you do anything nowadays, but we're looking at about a $10,000 savings over the previous 5-year contract that we had. So it's nice to be able to start a presentation like this saying we're going to see a savings and not an increase in these times. So excited about that. There were 2 options that each of the vendors were able to bid. One would be just strictly a black and white option. The other would be the possibility of a color option out there. And we would then look at which option fit the best. As we look at the black and white options, Tri-State Business Machines came in at $92,058. Xerox came in at $83,188. And then E.O. Johnson came in at $76,392. The color 2 option, which would be like-for-like equipment with the ability to both do black or white, and the ability to keep one offer on, is also there. Those options came in with Xerox coming in at $77,712, and then E.O. Johnson coming in at $88,200. And as we look at those 2 bids, the dollar difference between E.O. Johnson and Xerox was approximately $1,320.38 on the 2 bids there. So when we're looking at this, Xerox has provided us with wonderful service. I think Scott could attest to that too. We don't have a lot of problems with Xerox. They've been here, they've taken care of us. If we've had a problem, they've taken care of it fast and efficiently. And at some point in time, we have to look at the costs regarding changing from one brand to another brand and just some of the efficiencies that we have set up. So, and that dollar value really changes on depending on who you are and what you put a value at that. But considering we have a $77,000 copy machine bid, I would recommend that we stick with Xerox, even though it is $1,320 more expensive than the E.O. Johnson. Now, although we're getting a color option on these color copy machines, we will not be turning that on because color copying is a lot more expensive than just black and white. So we will be keeping that option off. And primarily because that is the best option for us to do at this time and possibly implement that. It does open up, though, doors down the road because we currently have a color option in each of the buildings. It's just not a color copy machine that will collate and staple. So we need to be careful on how we open up the door to color copy. So we already have color printing built into our budget, and we just want to maintain that. So this will give us an option when those color printing machines start going down, we can move that into our color copy machine. So we're trying to look forward and save the district some money on that. So again, I would recommend that we go with the Xerox copy machine bid of $77,712.38. I think, is there anything I missed from Finance Committee that?
Actually recommend the 72.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah,
sorry.
Thank you.
Sorry,
no, that's fine, Joe.
I watch money a little bit closer than you do.
Well,
no.
That did hurt. But having said that, there are 3 there that are highlighted that we will not be replacing. There will be 2 at the high school, and those are in the high school office and middle school office. And one each at the library, at the high school, and the middle school. And then the high school guidance will be eliminated along with the middle school office area, and then the Robert Cooper would be consolidating the 3 that we have here to 1 machine. So, and that would be an additional saving of $5,046.96. So as Joan said, total bid price is $72,665.42. And that would be across the board for both E.O. Johnson and factor that in equally between the 2, so you still have that savings of $1,000 or difference of $1,320.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Gordon.
Yeah.
He had done all the work.
Yes.
So,
But But in finance, we did like the 72,000 better since it was $5,000 less. It
Well, and
all
that's,
helps.
yeah, exactly. You know, we know what's coming next year, so we're trying to position ourselves so that we're prepared for that. And anytime you can save, that means that instead of just saving about approximately $10,000 savings, we're really looking at about a $15,000 savings, so good thing.
And just as a heads up too, Greg, you did mention that that big machine in our district office is getting near its possible end of life, right? So
No, that big one's,
oh, not the big one. Well, the one in red up here, that's not the
oh,
big
the one in red up there is, and the reason I highlighted and that possibly will bring in a proposal back to the board, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. The only building that's not going to have a color option, although we do have color printing in the district office, but a color copier that would actually collate and staple would be the district office. And we work through that, and we're comfortable with what we got up there. We don't necessarily need one, then it would be an additional cost. But if we do a lot, probably more have a need for some of that color copying up at the district office and some of the buildings.
Right, and what we had talked in finance was the notion that within the district, there's networking capability, so if in fact it wasn't able for them to do it within the district, they can rearrange their system so that they can print where that printing option is available.
If we really need to do it, we can send it to the high
Correct.
school or
Yep.
one of the elementary schools, and they could do that option for us.
Yes,
Okay.
to one of the schools.
But that's kind of where we're at. It was fast and furious process, and I know EO will be a little disappointed, well, probably a lot disappointed, but, you know, again, Xerox has been a partner with us, and as I told them, that if the dollar difference was between EO and Xerox, you have to reward a relationship that you've had over the years in some form or fashion. And again, I think that on a $72,000 copy machine bid, I think that $1,300 is a reasonable dollar amount.
And as you said, there's a lot to be said for really giving our district good service and responsiveness.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that more than pays for that. Then I would look for a motion to approve the bid from Xerox, if that is the recommendation, for $72,665.42.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second then to approve the bid as presented from Xerox for $72,665.42. Any further discussion?
I would do a roll call.
Okay. And I will say this is a 5-year contract.
Yes, it is a
essentially.
5-year
So over 5
contract,
years.
yeah. And those prices are guaranteed over the course of the 5 years, so.
Right. That's good.
And just to add to that, because we did mention that too, is that our bid last year, or 5 years ago, was about $87,000. Our actual in 09-10 was about $85,300, because we're on a per-click rate, meaning that we get billed on what we use, not what we, not on a percentage of volume that they say we have to use. So the nice thing about that is if we use less, we don't get charged for it, but then if we use more, then we're only paying the rate for what we use. So it's worked out pretty good, so.
Okay, then we will do a roll call vote.
Mary Ellen,
Yes.
Joan,
Yes.
Jerry,
Yes.
Judy,
Yes.
and Pam,
Yes.
and Deb.
Yes. And thank you for getting all that together so quickly, too,
Yes.
Mr. Gorder.
Thank you for your
Yes,
support on
thank
it.